right, Cyber Traders, welcome on back to our Friday morning pre-market meeting here live on YouTube, Facebook Live, all of our social media streams, but exclusively as well inside our live trading room. Michael, Dave, Kathleen, all of our longtime students there. Great to see Richard as well. Great to see Charlene, Wendy, had all of us just before at least. So let's get a quick chat back to make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. Should be good to go there, but I'll tell you what, we've had a great Friday morning thus far. This PRTG got going early on. We also have MLGO back in play again. Great to see Uday here, Sam, Bill, Larry. Great to see all of us here otherwise. And Michael asking just before also on another stock that was moving just earlier, what happened to this stock, Wolf, WOLF? What the F happened here? No, seriously, it's down 40% off of no news. There's no news headline this morning that led for this stock to drop 40%. Nothing that I saw from Benzinga. I even went on social media myself. I did a little search. Nothing yet. We'll try and find out, Mike, but great to have all of us, though, otherwise on social media. Let me just get this up here really quick. We always like to invite all of our social media members to join us inside our live trading room. But if you are not followed or subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, just be a friend, tell a friend, hit the follow or subscribe button down below. You have Fausto out today. He'll be back on Monday. He's actually at his son's wrestling meet, so wishing him well, of course. But with that there, just at cybertradingu on the lower left. But yeah, let's dig right into a couple of trades from yesterday, Mike, because a good segue for this morning, perhaps. The MLGO, of course, was the main one once again from yesterday here. Ended up making a crazy pop, more so from the mid-morning, you could say. It got going around 10 o'clock here, kind of like lower volume at the time. Now, if you go back even to the daily chart, you know that we've been on top of this trade. I mean, even from here, of course, but just dating back to earlier this week, dating back to late February, this ended up being a pop and drop. It ended up popping and dropping here in this sequence. So that's where I personally didn't give this the light of day myself, not as Josh the trader, as Josh the instructor. I don't want anyone to get their accounts blown up on this stock when it has a 45-50 cent spread. For anyone like Chuck, I saw maybe, was it Charlene perhaps? I saw someone else jump in on the MLGO. They did really well on it. And I always root any of our more successful traders like those on. But, hey, just for anyone here, especially our newly enrolled students, keep in mind, you want to focus on tradable, not just trend. This had trend, but tradable is the first step. So what goes up comes back down. We always say it here. This is basically the old Christmas tree pattern here, basically. All you needed is like a gold star on top, right? Right. Seriously, up, down, most of these bars on the way down being red. Now at this point, well, this thing's not dying officially. It's not making lower lows. There's not like news out with like common stock offering that tanks it here this morning. So it's still making higher lows. It's still building a little bit since 1:30 in the afternoon. I like this at least for the open a hell of a lot more now than I liked it at least when it popped up out of the blue. We always say start and stick with our watch list from pre-market. Not even just myself, let alone myself. You got 35+ year pro Fausto Pugliese probably joining us right now on YouTube. How's it going, Fausto? No, but seriously, for him to be scanning the market for you, for our students, let's start with what he puts on the watch list, right? So for this to just fly up out of nowhere, it makes it a little bit more distracting. I mean, we're going to get we're not going to be able to focus as much on the ones that were already moving, the ones that have the icebergs already that we plotted for. So, hey, we were able to jump in on this, a few of us. It came back down pretty damn hard. I like this, though, for the open still. So long as this keeps with higher lows. And now, since it's moving better in pre-market, we're going to take the time to focus in on where those levels are. You should already, at least. If you're focused in on this trade from pre-market, 8:30, before we jumped on here at 9 o'clock, then you should have been going through Bookmap or level 4 and seeing where those big iceberg levels are. Because, one level that we'd called out just before here, it's like a moment ago. It was Carrie. That's right, Sam. Carrie, my apologies. Just catching up with the chat right now here. There we go. Appreciate that, Sam. I knew it was one of the ladies, right? I knew it was one of the ladies there. Just my brain, my apologies. So Carrie and Chuck killed it on this trade. Yes. And right now, at least, though, you have a 75,000 share sell order, though, out here. This is at $17.30. $17.30. So for right now, that definitely is going to be our resistance until it busts over that, until that gets pulled or broken through. Then I wouldn't be expecting this big run right away. I wouldn't be expecting continuation. So I'll put it on our list to begin. It definitely goes on our watch list to start. Just give me a quick moment here. Type this thing out here on my screen. But yeah, we did well on the MLGO. The VVPR, I don't want to say we did well on this because this thing looked like a train wreck after, but this was more from like pre-market yesterday morning. This was looking pretty interesting going into the market open. Popped early, but still pushed up a little bit, was building up leading into the opening bell, and popped afterwards, or popped like pretty much right going into it, I should say here, but came back down pretty shortly after. And then I don't know what happened here. I think this got halted off of news pending. You know what? I don't know. So we got the time to figure this out at least a little bit here. Why did this even get halted smack dab in the middle of the day? What was the news out on this here for VVPR? This is it. Here we go. The company agreed to grant a company energy an exclusive period, blah, 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 $180 million. That's what I care about in that news headline right there, folks. So, it got halted off of news pending. It did pop really nicely at first, but very short-lived once again. History often repeats itself, right? History often has a tendency to repeat itself. So we've traded the stock before. That's where we say, much like the MLGO, this is pop and drop, pop, drop here, filled the gap pretty quickly on the way back down. And then once again here now at this point, it's down about 4% from yesterday still, but it's pulling back from the run up that it made earlier this week. So I'm not as keen to put this on our watch list now. And typically what goes on the gainers list makes the losers list the next day. So this is very typical, at least for VVPR. Now, I'll tell you what, Fausto called this out pretty head on. That the short, we had the short at least on the NVIDIA trade, and it continued to pull back yesterday too. So let me even go back to the day before, because he was calling this out off 117. He was short from it right there. I don't know if he's still in or not. I thought that he had mentioned he was going to make it just a day trade and that's it. I don't know if he swing traded this as a short, but either way, he killed it on it. He had a great entry off of 117. It was a little bit after the market opened up two days ago, dropped off. Well, yesterday it built a lower high at first. This also looks like a bit of a Christmas tree here. Give me a moment. Either that or I don't know my Christmas trees. But ended up making a nice little push up. There we go, push right back down. And then from there, even lower this morning, we see NVIDIA. So it wouldn't shock me if we do end up getting that 110 level, $110. That was a key level back a few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago it was. And I know yesterday we had a pretty big buyer out there. Let's pull up level 4 right now and see what we got. Where do we have the big orders out there for NVIDIA this morning? I don't mind putting this on our list even here for the open. Moment here. And right away, you could tell just big fat red line here, 121,000 shares on the bid right now at 110. But I bet you that was also there yesterday too. Here's your closing bell print, 111.43 for any NVIDIA trader here. That's definitely something for you to focus on at least. But whether it holds this actually, the close price from yesterday, or it does drop back down to that 110 level, it's possible we could see short covering heading into this market close. It's possible we could see a bounce back up on NVIDIA. It's obviously hinging on the whole market here, of course. So looking at the SPY, S&P here, we've been saying 565 has been support. It's been holding that pretty nicely throughout this week. Yesterday, pretty much went like to the nose on it, broke below by a few pennies, and it's chopping around it now in pre-market. So this morning and today in general, I think should be pretty critical for the move here on the SPY, because I feel like we've been chopping around here long enough. Are we going to break lower here? Is this going to be a technical bear flag and we see this flush back down? I think there's a chance. And if this 565 breaks as support, which it's already been chopping around for a little while here, it's been fighting long enough. Well, if it re-breaks that, I could see a trip back down to 550. If not, even lower, down to like 540 or so. Now, hey, I'm just speaking truths. I'm speaking both sides of the coin. I'm a bull. I'm looking for a move up. I'm looking for a bounce. So if we hold 565 and go back up today, great. If we end up breaking below that, though, just let's be respectful at least of the other side of the coin there, because the last thing you want to do is get stuck holding on to, let's say OTM calls. You're holding on to a trade that you're very, bullish on, but you got to focus on the levels there, support, resistance. So the first even 5 minutes of the open will be pretty telling, I feel. All right, now, hey, we got NVIDIA here for the morning here. I'm going to put this on our watch list as well, and then possibly Tesla too. I'm just taking a look at Fausto's TSLA trade. This has been doing pretty damn good in the general sense of holding over historical levels. So from earlier this week, actually, and I'll try and take a little time here, if you don't mind, to go through the chat, because this is probably back even from Monday the 24th as we came back from the weekend. But talking about Tesla and just the historical levels. Fausto is a big fan of this as far as the bounce, just kind of playing it off catastrophe creates opportunity. So give me a quick moment, see if I can pull this up. Yeah, check this out. So this was from Monday's chat inside our live trading room. Did a little search here, March 24th, wrote the word historical. TSLA, 9:53 in the morning, has historical level from 271 or so, 270 to 271. So that's the area I was calling out. From Monday, though, we're Friday, right? Today's Friday. So we've been harping on this all throughout the week. It should be a resistance at first, and it broke over it. And now that is support here. So at least since, what was it, back a few days ago? Yeah, right here, support. This is the 25th on Tuesday. And then it broke around it a little bit here, but it can regain composure, we'll say, at least yesterday morning. And still holding over it right now, 270-ish, 271. All right. Now, hey, I guess I'll put Tesla on our morning watch list as well now. But we got 3 trades. Let's go across the percent gainers and losers list here. It's already 9:12 in the morning. Fausto likes to keep this simple. I like to run my mouth. So let's try and finish up here in time. Make sure we have enough time for our students to prep up here. PRTG. I was chatting Wendy about this earlier. So, it's possible this could also become another MLGO type of trade, low float, low volume type of stock. Popped and dropped back in September and popped and dropped back in December for us as well. So it's up huge this morning already. Goes on our watch list. I'll double check the news out for this one right now too, just to see what's happening on this trade. Obviously, it goes on our watch list just for right now either way, but trading higher after the company reported new data for their Port 7 at the 2025 European Lung Cancer Congress. All right, I don't know, obviously, anything about this company, who they are, catchy sounding headlines. So hopefully there is more to it here, and easily enough, we'll put this on our watch list. It is under the VWAP right now. It is under the volume weighted average price, or like testing it, kind of lingering under it right now. So just be mindful of that. But yeah, it goes on our list. DBVT, this thing, what the hell happened here and this is before sun even rose, but ended up popping up pretty nicely here, but came back down. And normally when you see that, it typically just continues to break lower. So it is still at 56%. I'm not as keen to put this on our list now at this point. Maybe if it gets halted on the way up or something, if it just pops up on our radar out of the blue, then we'll call it out again. But KULR, I think this is a Bitcoin mining stock, if I'm not mistaken there. Little pop, maybe it was earnings related here. It's holding support. This at least is more of a category 1 or 2 stock. Something that we teach in our classes as far as how to rank these stocks based on how fast or slow they are. This is like an introductory type stock. So for anyone new here, any of our newly enrolled students, this would give you a good chance to focus on a slower moving but pretty active stock this morning, the KULR. So I'll add the KULR there to our list. Do another quick scan there, see what else we got. There's the MLGO again. It's already on our list, made the cut for now. Rocket Lab. What happened here? It is pulling back, though, here this morning. Is it earnings related, or got the time for the news here? I like to call myself Newsman Levitan at times. So here we go, breaking out the old news once again. Trading higher after the company announced it joined the Space Forces. I like that number. I like that number right there. That's the only thing that we need to focus on for any headline, just the number, the cash, the money involved. But yeah, we talked about that one trade that had the $180 million, whatever it was. And that's nice. Yeah, 5.6 billion, baby. Now, that's not like a contract to Rocket Lab. That is just how much the Space Force's entire program is worth. It joined it. It joined this $5.6 billion program. So I'm sure there's other companies involved. It's not an exclusive contract. But obviously, we know the Space Force. We know it's government related, and 5.6 billion. We know that number. So nice sounding number there. And even though it's dropping back down, I don't like the drop back down. I normally wouldn't put this on our watch list, actually. So I'll add it. I'll probably put it on the back side of our watch list for right now. I like the news. I like the news on it more than anything. All right, what else we got here? Old Flame here, ex-US Steel. I don't know if you can see that on webcam right there. All right, so we got Bitcoin dropping back down. That is no surprise for myself because I've been calling that out all from this past week. And we had a little pop up at first, but starting to drag back down a little bit here again. Would not shock me if we come back down towards 80,000, if not lower, if not down towards even to break lower from here, even go down to like 74K, which was the previous like all-time high area, right? 73, 74K. So would not shock me if that happens over time. Point being is that I told you I wasn't a buyer here, though, from the last like week and a half. Um, see if we get a sharper drop over the weekend, but that means this inverse ETF, SBIT, I was about to say IBIT, SBIT, this gapped up overnight. I'm not going to put this on our main list just yet, but we can call it out at least afterwards. If we see a better drop off on Bitcoin, then that should likely move up pretty nicely there. MSTZ. Not much else I see from the gainers list here. I mean, markets are kind of down, so let's see if there's anything from the loser side there. XTIA down about 36%. It's not down enough for me to look for a dead cat bounce. If it's down 80%, 75, 90%, that's where you could think like, all right, shorts have to cover. Maybe it can make like a little bounce. It's not down enough. So I'm going to pass on that XTIA. Now, you might say the same with Wolf, but at least this has a little movement here where you could see it possibly go up to 4. There could be a little short covering there. But otherwise, though, there could be more room on the way down for this stock. It is easy to borrow from me. I think it's breaking all-time lows. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this thing's breaking all-time lows. So I would not be a buyer, really, as far as like long-term looking for a swing bounce. If you want to look for a scalp or a day trade if shorts cover, that's one thing. Be my guest there, because it looks like basically it's snipped under and over 3 and then bounced at that point. So there could have been some quick money there on the bounce. Otherwise, though, focus on the way down here. So Wolf, I'll put on our watch list here going into the open. What's interesting about this stock, and I only say this just because I was never familiar with this stock, this company, until the election. So in lieu of the election at the time coming up, it was October into November at the time we were prepping up for it. I was trying to organize a list of Trump stocks and Harris stocks. A lot of our traders were asking, like, which sectors should be most affected, which stock should we look to follow more than others. So I didn't know of this stock, this company Wolfspeed, until I looked up online. I saw this list of Harris stocks, and this was one of them. It was like on the top of the list. I was like, what's Wolfspeed? What's that? Well, what happened was, here's November 5th, November 6th. Here's the election, my friends. You don't need to know what this company does in order to know that clearly this has not been reacting well off the Trump win, right? So it ended up just pulling right back down, and now it's breaking lower. So whatever happened this morning, let's even see if we have a news catalyst now at this point. Actually, earlier when we started this meeting, I told you I didn't have anything. I think yesterday there was some news about the CEO stepping out or someone new coming in. Yeah, this was yesterday morning. So this seems a little outdated comparative to the drop-off that we had here today, right? A little weird. So there's still no headline. Down 40% pre-market trading. It's referring to the appointment of the new CEO. I don't know if that's doing it though, because this didn't really move that much, yesterday. I mean, maybe a little bit, but this thing fell off a cliff this morning. So I'll put it on our watch list for the open though. I already did, typed it out there, so we're good. See if there's anything else looking good. What else we got? This is a good example, quick, just to take 2 seconds of my time to go over this. So I said earlier on one of the trades, I like the news. You don't want to fall in love with the news, though. You can't just assume the stock is going to go up because of news. And I know this. It's just a matter of saying, hey, this company even had phase 3 trial news. It met their primary endpoints. If you focus on pharmaceutical stocks, there's a long road to get to FDA approval. When it gets phase 3 positive, top line results, that's really bullish. Like, that's like, holy shit, like this could be a possible swing trade even. I didn't call this out as a swing trade. I would just like the news. Well, at the market open, this pulled back pretty quickly within the first 5 minutes, never broke higher. And if it's not going to make a higher high, it's more prone to make a lower low. Let's be honest, right? So what happened? Over time, it broke a lower low. Over time, it fell off even lower, and it's down 10% from yesterday's closing price. So yeah, this thing's cooked. You don't want to trust the news, or at least like buy only because of the news. Focus on trend. You you got to see the higher high. And even after the higher high, you got to see a new higher low from there. So and we'll talk all about that in our classes coming up just later on this morning. All right, folks, I think that's pretty much it. Not much else that I see from my radar, not much that I see from my side of things. For all of our students right now, Kathleen, Bill, Chuck, all of us here in chat right now, let me know if you see anything from your side. That's what everyone's got going on for this weekend, at least here. So really brief. Kerry going to an Eagles tribute concert, log cabin getaway. There you go. Very nice. Wendy going to her grandson's scouting trip, holds a dinner on Saturday night. He will serve us. Oh, that's cool. Very nice. Hope he's enjoying his time, though, Wendy. I'm sure he is. Pat says nothing exciting here, and so on and so forth. And then, oh, by the way, you know what? My apologies. Sam, congratulations, your daughter getting married. He actually wrote that, if not yesterday, maybe it was the day before, just alluded to it. So she has her shower this weekend. That's what it is. So she's getting married in May. Okay. Either way, congratulations to her. For anyone else, though, at least otherwise, hey, let me know if you see anything looking good from your side, stocks, as far as stocks or other trades, at least. Catch my water here, my drink. All right, folks, I think that we're pretty much just about good to go for the market open. All right, so give me a quick second. I'm going to post the watch list. Now, again, we have the Phase 2 stock course coming up at 10:30 this morning, and then later today at 3 o'clock. It's all but a Phase 3 class. It's all but basically showing live market interaction between buyers and sellers with level 3, level 4, showing live order execution. So, I look forward to it, but otherwise that'll be in just about an hour plus time. We got a full market open ahead here. So looking forward to it, and I'll talk to everybody in just a moment. Take care.